Hello Vietmaxon family and welcome back to my channel. Make my day by smash that like button. Alright, let's revisit Bitcoin. Bitcoin is doing really well. Yesterday, the market went up big, especially the Nasdaq, which is the tech stock. Crypto tends to move when the high risk or the tech stock goes up. That's why we saw Bitcoin early in the morning before Fed's announcement. It retraced and dropped down to about 22.7, but after the Fed decision, the Bitcoin rebounded and it ran all the way to about 24.2 before retrade consolidate. So the way I see it is most likely the uptrend would continue. I mean, especially when you look at the price action, Bitcoin continue to trade over this red line, which is the 10 days moving average. Every time when the price dip below that, buy a step in and push it up. So it's still a very bullish side. Most likely what's going to happen is Bitcoin will continue this uptrend and then retest this major supply zone that I mentioned about a couple of days ago. As you can see, every time when the price tested that, it got rejected. So this will be a major test for Bitcoin. A breakout and cross over that and then stabilize over this, then the uptrend would continue. However, a rejection at this point could spell trouble. Now let's quickly switch over a shorter time frame, which is the 30-minute. As you can see, Bitcoin retraced, and then after the good news from the Fed, it started to reverse direction and spike up. Ran to about 24.2, which is this high is higher than the previous high. And then pull back. Now it is stabilizing. Seems like it is finding support right at this line, which is about a 23.6, 23.7. If it can stabilize and begin this next run up again, most likely it's going to hit and retest the 25,000 area within the next couple of days. And that is what I'm expecting it will happen. So Bitcoin would likely continue this short-term uptrend. And the minute it get to this supply area, that is going to be a major test that we have to closely observe. So now the question is why this supply area, which is between the 25 to 26,000, is so critical. Let's just quickly switch over to the daily chart. Now, looking at the chart, we had the spike up to about like 65,000, pullback, spike up again. So here we had this double top and the price broke down. When the price retraced here, you can see this clearly setting up this bear flag and the price broke down. And then it dropped below the base of this bear flag here. And after that, trouble. And then if we look at this here, another bear flag. The price broke down again, setting up another smaller bear flag. As you can see, it get to this 25,000, it got rejected. And the minute it dropped below the base of this bear flag, that's when you would expect the price to continue to retrace. That's what happened here. It found support at this point and then stabilized or traded sideways for a while. And at the beginning of this year, it reversed direction. The first important thing to note is when it ran up, it was able to cross over this prior low. Now let's just draw a line from the base of this bear flag and just extend it to the right. So right at this point, Bitcoin crossed over, and technically, given the fact that it crossed over the base of this bear flag, it negates this little bear flag because what we normally would expect is the projected target would be somewhere around the 10,000. So when Bitcoin bounce up and cross over that, it negates this little bear flag. The price continue to trend up, and now likely that it's gonna retest this 25,000 again. That's why it is the key here, because a rejection at this point, most likely we are gonna see Bitcoin retest this line here, which is around the 18,000. If it can find support at this point and then stabilize and bounce up, then it's still a good sign. Why? Let me just erase all of this so that we can see this a little bit clearer. So let's say if Bitcoin can retrace and find support right at the 18,000, which is this line here, and then stabilize and bounce up, technically it would set up this very nice inverted head and shoulder. And if that was the case, then I would expect to see Bitcoin run up to about, let's say, about a 32,000. And at 32,000, it would be testing right at this line here, as you can see. So a rejection at 25,000 and find support at 18,000 and bounce up, still an indication that the uptrend would continue for this year. However, a breakdown at 18,000, then we're in deep doo-doo. Hopefully that is not going to be the case. Now let's quickly go back to the daily chart with all this nice indicator. Short term, I expect Bitcoin to run up and retest this 25,000. If it can cross over 25,000, stabilize and bounce up, that is what we like to see, because that would allow the 50 days to cross over the 200 days. So we would have this very bullish signal, which is a golden cross. That would be an indication that Bitcoin would likely continue this uptrend. However, a rejection at this point and somehow the 50-day go up and then reverse direction, that is definitely trouble, and we don't want to see that. That's it. Give me a like if you appreciate this content, and if you like this sort of boring videos, make sure to click that subscribe button and turn on notification.